Go on.
Okay, here's a phrasing thing that I got from a brilliant guitar player named Jack Semple. I'm pretty sure he's from Winnipeg or something, but if you check him out, Jack, S-E-M-P-L-E, he's an amazing guitar player. But on his instructional video in the early 90s, this is something that it just stood out to me because it's really valuable for some people. So you can pick two notes, any two notes. I'm going to pick, right? So I'm going to pick D and E. That's 7th fret, 3rd string, and 9th fret, 3rd string. Now, I'm going to play in time, so I'm going to tap my foot. It's better if you play along with a play-along track, like just get a blues track and find two notes that sound good and do this or whatever. But this will illustrate the idea. So I'm going to use those two notes, only those two notes. I can use either one of them, so I don't have to use two. But I'm not going to use any more than those two. And now I'll shut up and just show you what I'm talking about. It's silly, right? But it forces you to make music from a limited set of, constructs. However you want to think of it. I mean, you don't even really have to explain it. You saw what I did. It forces you to think in phrases and think about things like your touch and your feel and your tone. And then if you add another note, there's an interesting sequence. While it's very simple, if you think of the contour, right? Have we talked about contour before? If you were to plot all of those notes on a graph, right? It would have like, would go ba 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 ba, right? You could see the dots, right? So it would have a shape, let's say, right? Now I'll invert the shape. The two of them have a musical consistency together. Or not a consistency, but they seem to complement each other, like a call and response, right? That leaves you kind of hanging, right? Huh? What? And then has more of a resolution to it. Do you know what I'm getting at? Now I'm going to do a couple more things thinking about contour. So I'm going to add another note, right? So if we took that contour, right? Now you could invert it, or you could extrapolate it along a scale. So let's say, sorry, I was tuned down from the previous lesson. So let's say we just did something, I don't know, I'll hold the pick properly. Right? So now I'm going to take that and put it along the length of minor blues, right? So musical thing I've ever played by far, because I'm thinking too much with too many parameters. But that's a good illustration of how to start off. Like start with that two note limitation, then add another note. You'll be surprised if you stick with the two note thing long enough to actually make it sound musical. Once you add that third note, it's like, wow, this is so cool that I've got another note rather than these two rotten notes, right? And then think of it in terms of contour, because what it's going to do is hopefully stop you thinking of guitar as, well, okay, I've memorized where to put my fingers in this scale shape, and I know the name of it. Why can't I get anything out of it, right? Well, you want to And as far as the make it sound good, I mean, that's one thing you can do too. Take a simple phrase, right? And play it as many different ways. Right? It slows you down and makes you start to think about, because realistically, what is it? There's a couple of different constructs to sounding good. Both of your hands have to work in sync. Now that was one of those things that's very obvious once you hear it. You go, oh, well, yeah, of course, that makes sense. But I remember when I heard it, I was like, oh, yeah. Never thought of that. And then it tightened my playing up right away. The next thing is you've got to make sure you're getting a good contact. I always tell people, think about your fingertip hitting the actual fingerboard, the wood. Now, not in the sense that you're grinding down and pushing and causing all sorts of unnecessary tension, but I'm not thinking of hitting the string as much as I am getting the tone out of the wood. Also, don't be in a hurry to get to the next note. I see people, they take the finger off so soon that it truncates the note instead of giving the note its value, right? You could try playing things really quiet. And then going from quiet to loud. Make it sound good. There's all those things that you can think of that I guess are necessary to know, but the more that you can do just listening and intuitively, that I guess the better. Right?
Good.